What if I told you there's a weapon you already possess, one so powerful it can move armies and shape fortunes, and you might not even know you're holding it? This isn't a secret technique. It's your reputation. Not about being liked, but about wielding raw psychological power in the space between who you are and what others believe you to be. It is the cornerstone of influence, and if mismanaged, the quickest path to your own downfall. Human beings are interpreters, not objective processors. We can't see inside each other's minds, so we rely on proxies, actions, words, style, past results. We bundle these signals into a story. That story is a reputation, and once written in the minds of others, it becomes a reality with tangible force. It precedes you. It introduces you. It negotiates for you before you speak. This narrative is your psychological territory. When strong, it's like owning well-defended land. People approach with respect or fear. When weak or damaged, that land seems open for conquest. You will be challenged. Your every move will require 10 times the effort, battling a story you didn't write. So, the first law, you must become the author of your own story. To cede this is to surrender control. Your mission is to consciously construct the reputation you need. And that construction starts with a single cornerstone. You cannot be known for everything. You must be known for one thing, supremely well. Complexity is a weakness at the start. A confusing mix of traits creates distrust. Masters of influence distill their essence into one potent quality: unwavering integrity, creative genius, ruthless efficiency. This singular trait acts as a filter and a halo. If you're known as reliable, people assume your work is meticulous before they see it. This reputation becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. But how is this built from nothing? Let's look to the fog of war. Our setting is the Three Kingdoms period. Among its brilliant strategists stood Zhuge Liang, Chancellor of Shu, nicknamed the Sleeping Dragon. That name was a cultivated piece of his reputation, dormant, immense power. His exploits were tactical legends. He was a psychological operator. Consider the false defector. A soldier from the rival Wei kingdom arrived at Liang's camp, posing as a disillusioned officer offering secrets. Liang instantly recognized a plant, a spy meant to feed false information. The standard protocol was execution. Liang ordered it. As the axe was raised, he stopped. He offered the terrified agent a choice: die as a failed tool or live as a double agent. The man agreed, returned to Wei, and began supplying his masters with Liang's crafted misinformation. Subsequent battles were won in the enemy commander's mind. Liang repeated these feats. He stole a seal, forged orders to disperse an enemy army, and captured cities without a fight. He orchestrated a ruse that convinced a rival kingdom their best general was a traitor, forcing the man to defect to him. Each victory was a brick in his wall. He was writing a story of inevitable, ingenious victory. Everyone believed facing the sleeping dragon meant facing a mine 10 steps ahead where every obvious move was a trap. Then, he was tested under extreme pressure. Liang had sent his main army away. He stayed in a small border town with maybe 100 men. Scouts brought panic. His rival, Sima Yi, was approaching with the main Wei army, over 100,000 soldiers. Capture or death was certain. But Liang defied all logic. He ordered his men to take down every flag, throw the city gates wide open, and hide. He ascended the highest wall, changed into simple robes, lit incense, and began to calmly play his lute, chanting as if in meditation. Sima Yi's army saw a silent town, open gates, and the most feared strategist in China, utterly at peace. Sima Yi knew him. He had studied him, fought him, lost to him. His soldiers clamored to charge, but he hesitated. His mind, conditioned by Liang's reputation, raced. This had to be supreme confidence, a taunt. The open gates were a dare. He imagined hidden legions, pits, archers. The absurdity was its genius. For a second, he wondered if it was a desperate bluff. But the story of the sleeping dragon was too powerful. The risk of being the fool who fell for Liang's most obvious trap was too great. He gave the order to retreat. Immediately, the entire army turned and marched away. This is the pure power of reputation. Liang's cultivated narrative acted as a phantom army. It defended the city. It won the battle without a single arrow. The story in Sima Yi's head was more real than the physical reality. This is the apex, when your reputation does the work for you. But Liang didn't arrive there by accident. He made consistent strategic deposits into his reputation's bank. Most of us are still building that initial capital. So what do you do when you have little to no reputation facing a giant who owns the narrative? You change the game. Attack the foundation of their power, their story. In 1841, a young P.T. Barnum wanted to buy the American Museum in New York. He had no money, only bold promises. He secured a verbal deal, but the owners sold it to the established Peale's Museum instead. Their reason was brutal. Peale's had a reputation. He did not. Barnum was furious. His insight was ruthless. If he couldn't win with a good reputation, he would destroy the one blocking him. He launched a covert campaign of narrative warfare, writing letters to newspapers posing as a concerned citizen. He sowed seeds of systemic doubt. He called the Peale's directors broken-down bank directors, questioned their competence, whispered about instability, and warned against their stock. This is tactic one for the reputation-less, the sowing of doubt. Doubt is corrosive. Once introduced, it creates a horrific dilemma. If the target ignores it, the doubt grows unchallenged. If they address it, they look defensive and desperate. Barnum's campaign worked. Public confidence evaporated. Peale's stock collapsed. The skittish owners backed out and sold the museum to Barnum. He won by poisoning the well of his competitors' credibility. But wars have phases. Having won, Barnum now had a reputation to defend. Peale's counter attacked by building a reputation for highbrow entertainment. They promoted mesmerism, stage hypnotism, as a serious scientific demonstration. It drew respectable crowds. Barnum needed a new weapon. Not slander, but dismantlement. He needed ridicule. This is tactic two, for when you have a reputation to stand on, the weaponization of mockery. Barnum staged a rival scientific demonstration. He hypnotized a girl, tried and failed to hypnotize the audience, then announced he'd cut off her finger to prove the trance was real. As he sharpened a knife, the girl's eyes snapped open and she fled. The audience roared with laughter. He repeated this parody for weeks. Peale's serious show was permanently framed as a farce. Attendance dried up. The show closed. Barnum, through humor, defended and expanded his territory. The lesson: the tools must match your position. When weak, use stealth and doubt, guerrilla tactics. When established, use satire and charm. The wrong tool will backfire. Now, the flip side, the profound fragility of reputation. How the same action can be heroism or treason based solely on the surrounding story. In the warring state's kingdom of Wei, a courtier named Mi Zixia was the ruler's favorite, known for impeccable civility. A law stated, using the ruler's private chariot without permission meant losing your feet. One day, Mi Zixia's mother fell gravely ill. The ruler was away. Driven by filial piety, Mi Zixia took the royal chariot to see her. When the ruler returned and was informed, his reaction was admiration. Look at his devotion. For his mother, he forgot the crime that would cost him his feet. Through the lens of his sterling reputation, the crime was reinterpreted as virtue. Later, they walked in a peach orchard. Mezixia took a bite of a peach and offered the rest to the ruler. The ruler was touched. You love me so deeply, you forget your own saliva. Sharing a half-eaten fruit, potentially insulting, was seen as intimate affection. His reputation was a filter of gold, but envy seeks strong reputations. Other courtiers began a whisper campaign. They said he was arrogant, his loyalty self-serving, his elegance a mask. Drip by drip, the filter changed. The ruler's perception cooled. Then, a minor dispute arose. The ruler, his mind clouded by the new narrative, turned on his favorite. This man stole my chariot. He gave me a half-eaten peach in disrespect. The identical actions were recast as treason. The fate of Mezixia's feet hinged not on what he did, but on the story believed about him when he did it. The terrifying truth: your past actions have no fixed meaning. Their meaning is perpetually reassigned based on your current reputation. A bold move is visionary if you're a genius, reckless if you're an upstart. You are judged on your actions multiplied by your reputation. So, how do you build a strong one? It's a deliberate process. Stage 1, the foundation. Choose your cornerstone trait with brutal honesty. What one quality gives the greatest strategic advantage? It must be authentic, but chosen for utility. Then make small, consistent deposits. If it's reliability, meet every tiny deadline, show up early. Provide the raw data points for the story. Stage 2, the amplification. You need witnesses. Perform your trait where it will be noticed by the right people, those with influence. This isn't loud promotion, it's visible demonstration. A reputation spreads when people tell stories. Give them a simple one. He's the only person who always. Let their words be your megaphone. Stage 3, the defense. As you grow, you become a target, anticipate attacks, shore up vulnerabilities. If known for honesty, be meticulously transparent. Create a reality so aligned that attacks seem absurd, and never defend your reputation with anger. Anger is the smell of fear. Respond with amused indifference or silent continuation. Take the high road out of strategy, not morality. Stage 4, the evolution. A reputation can become a prison. Evolve it not through sudden rebrands, but gradual, layered expansion. Associate with new people. Take on new projects. Add chapters. Don't tear out the old ones. But what if your reputation is already stained? You must use a proxy. You can't easily erase a dishonest label alone. Every protest sounds like another lie, but be seen consistently with a person of unimpeachable honesty. Their credibility acts as a solvent. Barnum, known for humbug, imported the revered singer Jenny Lind, the Swedish Nightingale. Sponsoring her tour made him a patron of sublime art, not just oddities. The industrialists Morgan and Frick were vilified as cruel robber barons. They became voracious collectors of Renaissance art, Da Vinci, Rembrandt. Over decades, their names became linked with beauty and culture, softening their harsh images. They built an annex to their public story. Finally, the strategic attack on another's reputation. We saw Barnum attack from weakness, but from strength, the margin for error is zero. Consider the war of the currents. Thomas Edison, the wizard, championed direct current. Nikola Tesla developed superior alternating current. Edison decided to destroy Tesla's reputation by painting AC as murderously dangerous. He publicly electrocuted stray animals with AC. Then, he lobbied for the world's first execution by electric chair using AC. The botched, agonizing execution of William Kemmler was meant to link Tesla's name to death. The campaign terrified the public about ACK, but it committed a fatal error. In his zeal, Edison went too far. The brutality began to stain the attacker. The public started to see Edison as vindictive and cruel, willing to torture to win a business war. He appeared desperate and small. Tesla took the high road with elegant demonstrations. In the long arc, Tesla's reputation grew into that of a visionary wronged by a Goliath. Edison's attack left a scar on his own legacy. The lesson: when attacking from strength, be surgical, not savage. Use the scalpel of satire, the spotlight of scrutiny, never the sledgehammer of overt cruelty. A lion doesn't stomp on a mouse, it ignores it or toys with it. Any overreaction diminishes the lion. Let's synthesize this into a framework, the reputation matrix. Imagine a grid. One axis is your strength, weak or strong. The other is opponent's strength, weak or strong. You are weak, opponent is strong. This is guerrilla warfare. Use doubt and asymmetric attacks. Whisper, question stability, exploit contradictions. Make the public question their story. You are strong, opponent is strong. This is high-stakes duels. Use ridicule, strategic contrast, frame control. Use humor. Contrast your stable narrative with their risky one. Never engage in a brutal brawl. You are weak, opponent is weak. This is early chaos. Focus 100% on building your cornerstone trait. Ignore others. Escape this quadrant by constructing your narrative faster. You are strong. Opponent is weak. This is benevolent indifference. Do not attack. Barely acknowledge. Your continued success is the attack. Let your towering reputation cast theirs into shadow. Locate yourself. Choose your tools. Is there an exception? Can you opt out? No. To not care about your reputation is to hand the pen to your enemies. You will have a reputation regardless. The only choice is whether you will be its author or its subject. Even those who didn't care were crafters. Oscar Wilde cultivated witty insolence. The Stoic philosopher builds a reputation for wisdom. There is no escape. Reputation is the water we swim in. So, begin with an audit. What is your reputation now? Ask yourself. Ask trusted people. What one-word story precedes you? Is it the story you want? If not, start the construction today. Choose your cornerstone. Make your first deposit. Act today in a pure signal of that trait. Then do it again tomorrow. As deposits compound, you gain territory. People make assumptions in your favor. Opportunities come that seem like luck, but are interest on your psychological capital. Guard this capital with your life. Be alert. Renew it constantly. Time and inaction will bury the most brilliant reputation. But tend to it, and it becomes an inexhaustible mine. It is the deepest form of wealth, because it generates all other forms. It is the ultimate invisible weapon. And now, you know how to forge it. If this dive into the architecture of power has changed your perspective, your next move is clear. Help this channel build its reputation for transformative insights. Please take a second to like this video. It signals value and helps reach more thinkers. And to continue mastering the unseen laws of success and influence, subscribe to Winds of Thought. We are just getting started. Thank you for watching.